Hey guys, thanks for listening to RetroLogic. We had a bit of a technical issue this week, so some of the audio might be a little off, but I think with the magic of editing, I can pull it together. I hope you enjoy this episode with Marty Estes. Welcome to RetroLogic. I'm Dan Caparello here with John Cummins, and this week we've got our special guest, the one and only, the mouth from the south, Marty Estes, to talk with us about, well, basically just Megaman. So let's get into it, really. I mean, what are we doing here if not letting Marty talk about Megaman? How are you doing, Marty?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a challenging couple of days here, just locally, just work-wise and everything. But I did get to spend some time this weekend playing through Mega Man 1. It was fantastic.
For the 1,000th time or what?
Here's the thing. on the relative playthrough list for Mega Man, that actually ranks kind of low. But not as low as Mega Man 6.
Well, yeah. Or 7, probably.
That'll be the one. That'll be the one we roll next. Is 6 now.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. Like I'm look, everyone that you roll, I'm playing it with you guys.
Awesome. Well, good. It's really great to have you here, Marty. And RetroLogic is the official podcast of Blockfort Retro, the place to shop online for high quality, clean, authentic retro games. Visit blockfortretro.com and see what's in stock this week. On that front, we've got 20% off all week long for Christmas. Get your Christmas shopping in, and it'll get it there before Christmas. And free shipping when you buy 2 or more items. All kinds of cool stuff going on. And because we are community first here at RetroLogic, the Discord is doing a giveaway just for Discord members, and the polls are closed, so you can't enter anymore. Sorry. We'll do another one. Make sure you join that Discord over on my Twitter at BlockfortRetro. In my bio. So I'm going to pull up a random number generator here. I've got 12 entries from our Discord. Let's see. Should have had this up before we started, but oh well.
That's how it always goes.
Clicking on 3, 2, 1. Number 6. And number 6 is Third Strongest Mole.
Oh, Mole got it.
We know that guy.
That dude wins everything. I want to. Honestly, here's the thing. In my search for a PS5, I'm about to just turn it over to Mole.
Right.
I'm just going to wire him the money and let him go do it.
Luckiest guy in there.
Win you one.
Of the 4 giveaways I've done, this is the first time he's won from me. So that's awesome. Congrats, Mole. Thanks for being part of the community and just kicking it with us. Anyway, let's stop all this sponsor crap and let's get into the real meat and potatoes. First, Marty, what have you been playing and buying out there in the world? Let's get to you first since you're a guest.
So much. So just a quick recap of the buying over the break, like Thanksgiving leading up. I got Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Collection for the Switch, which are games I've already played, but it's been so long that since I played them, I want to play those again. They were some of my favorite DS games back in the day, so I'm really looking forward to diving into those. Haven't actually got to play them yet, but it's probably going to be like the Christmas lull, like I'm going to go on vacation here in about a week or whatever, and I'm going to play those in a lot of Fortnite. And speaking of, I'm really, really sucked into the Fortnite Season 5 thing. So we bought in, my son and I bought into the Fortnite Crew, the new monthly thing that you can do. And so we're going to see how that goes, but so far pretty good. There's been a lot of, like, well, I don't say a lot, but there's been some pretty significant changes to this season to like how you earn XP and things with quests. Not as many like large earning quests yet. But I'm still progressing pretty good. I think I'm like level 20, so I'm doing okay. That's pretty good for a week. But I've also been playing Immortals, Phoenix Rising. I did buy that. And if you heard us talk about it on our show this past week or this weekend, I kindly referred to it as Breath on a Budget. It's like Breath of the Wild in a lot of ways, but in some ways it's also it just doesn't feel right. Dan, I know you've been playing it over like you played the demo.
Just the demo,
yeah. And you hated the banter.
Yeah, I hated it. That's what I canceled my pre-order.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I love it. It's in the pacing of the story. I think that's one of the things that sets it apart from those other open world run and do this quest games. So it's good. I've been putting some time into it, but I've also been playing Age of Calamity. I am not as far in Age of Calamity as I need to be. Like, I'm still in chapter 3. And when I say I'm not as far as I need to be, it's because I'm starting to see hints of spoilers for characters and other things. And I've just decided that over the next few days, my daughter's in a dance recital on Saturday and Sunday and Friday night, which leaves me at home a lot with my son. He's playing Fortnite. I'm playing Age of Calamity. This is the weekend. It's happening.
You got to get it done.
I'm just going to power through it and then come back. Because, like, I've been wondering too much, like doing all the little side quests and things. Right. Now I'm just going to, I know it's ridiculous. Like, I got to plow through for the story. So that's what I've been doing.
Sweet. Good stuff. Yeah, I accidentally gave up on Age of Calamity. Not because I don't like it,
no.
But I just found myself not playing it anymore. I was doing other things, and it hooked me really good, and then it let go of me. I don't know what happened. So
what happens at the end of the year? There's so many things that come out.
Oh, yeah. There's so much going on. And then like Black Friday on Stadia, I picked up like 4 games. So I'm trying a bunch of stuff out all at once. And Age of Calamity just kind of got pushed back and back and back. But I need to get back into it. So, John, how are you doing? You're here. Here you are.
Yeah,
I forgot that finally. You were here. Now you are. You're good.
Well, we get the guest on, and the guests take first spot, so you don't have to just talk to me.
Well, it's still good to have you here. Talk about what you bought.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm really interested in one particular thing that you got recently.
So, I picked up Gyromite to accompany my Rob the Robot that I got.
That's right.
And I've slowly been piecing together all the things needed to play it. And today in the mail, I got the 2 gyros that go with it. The only thing I have left is the part that holds the controller that has the 2 spindle levers on it that the little gyros sit on to hit the buttons. And those should be coming soon. So hopefully there'll be a video up of my Rob when I test it out. Make sure it all works.
I want to see that, dude. Yes. Let's do it.
Getting closer. And then I also today picked up Immortals, Phoenix Rising, and Void Bastards because Best Buy was having their random buy one get one half off sale, and instead of it taking the discount off of the lower price game, it was taking it off of the higher price game. So I bought Void Bastards for $30, and it discounted Immortals down to $30 for me.
Dude.
And then
that's
I had a $10,
great.
Crazy.
Yeah, I had a $10 coupon on top of that, so I paid $25 for both of them. So I'll be playing Immortals hopefully soon if I can peel away from Age of Calamity long enough to do so.
Ridiculous.
Which moves into what I've been playing. Yeah. I also have been playing probably more Age of Calamity than needs played. I can't move on. I have like this bad thing with games where if the side quests are available, I have to do them for some reason. So
yeah,
as soon as
don't play The Witcher.
The main quests, they pop. Well, I tried The Witcher and I had to quit because it was too much.
Please, I'm sitting over here and I think that I'm some kind of weirdo because like I've played The Witcher and I'm like, there's too much to do. I can't.
No, there's entirely too much to do, and it's hard to know what is the main path in that game. Just what do you? How do you?
Here's my thing.
How do I move forward?
I'm afraid that if I don't do those other things, that I'm going to miss something to enhance the main thing.
Well,
That's where they get you.
Out.
Well,
yes.
and the thing about The Witcher too,
if you don't do them and you go past, you can't
right.
go back and do them because it progresses the story and you're stuck.
Not only that, but it's really hard to tell what a side mission is and what a main story is in that game because all of the side missions are so detailed and so well done. Like I want to follow this side mission because it's like pulling me, you know? It's sometimes the main mission's boring in that game. So go ahead, John.
That
Sorry.
is a game that I keep in my game case. Like I keep it there
right.
I feel like if it's visible, one day I'll go put it back in my Switch, right?
Yeah.
And because I really like it. I mean, it's a fun game, but it's just overwhelming. It's too much.
I think I have it in my game case as well, like my travel case. There's like a few things I always have with me. I always have Smash. That one has made it in there. I always have Slay the Spire because that's an easy, like you just hop in and get lost in that pretty quick. And then whatever game I'm currently playing is the other one. But yeah, Age Calamity, there's just too many missions, and I can't seem to let go. Like the only ones I've been letting go are ones where I just absolutely cannot get the materials for until I go further. But I think I'm in chapter 4, so I'm not too much further than you. But I think I've almost got 20 hours in, and I'm only in chapter 4. Yeah. So it's definitely a lengthy.
The how long to beat is like 20 to 30 hours. So you've been doing a lot of side quests.
Well, that's I was gonna say, what's the completionist time? It's probably like
I don't
60
know.
hours.
I don't know. There might not be one yet for that.
Yeah, there might not be because I've
100
been
hours.
tracking some of the other guys, and I know very well they've got at least 40 hours in it, and they're only like 40-50% of the way done. So there's got to be tons and tons of side missions.
Yeah.
And I guess the only other thing I really play, well, I keep playing Leaf Green periodically, so I don't really mention that one a whole lot, but still playing through that. Tetris 99 had their Maximus Cup, and I played through and got my theme, which was pretty cool because it was Mario All-Stars. I love Mario All-Stars anyway, so that was a nice pickup.
Sweet.
Nice.
Good deal. So I had, I didn't really buy anything this week. I kind of like stopped buying stuff. I just got like a ton of inventory in and up on the store. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to buy anything for a little bit. I'm just going to sell some stuff and clear out. So, but I did have one of my good friends over to do some social distancing gaming, because I have a ton of multiplayer games and no one to play them with. So we did a gambit. We did a bunch of multiplayer stuff that I don't normally get to jump into. We did Waverace 64, which still has the best water in video games. We did Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. Either you ever play Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey on the N64? It's the NFL Blitz of hockey. It's so good. You know, you can turn on fighting, and you can like have like your like a fighting match right in the middle of the.
I thought the NHL Hits was the NFL Blitz of hockey.
I didn't like Hits as much. But I didn't like Hits as much as just like the regular hockey gameplay isn't as good as in Wayne Gretzky's. I'm sorry.
I think that Hits and Blitz and all those games are enhanced by the company that you play them with.
That's true. Big time.
And so Hits came out while I was in college, and it almost caused one of my roommates to fail that semester.
Oh my!
Because he could not stop playing it.
Yeah,
we would fight over it.
Hits down too. It was great.
Well, I like Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, so
that was good.
To each their own. And then we hopped on to Bomberman 64, which we actually talked a little bit about last week because it was the This Week in Gaming History. And I had fond memories of this game, but I hadn't played it in probably 20 years. And so we played it last night, and I was reminded of exactly how just bat-ass crazy chaotic that game is, and how much of it is left up to chance. because you you can pick up bombs and throw bombs and launch bombs and drop bombs and you don't know whose is whose. And once one goes off, if it's next to another one, it blows that one up. And there's power-ups, and it's all happening at the same time. And you can't do just a 2-player match. You can only do 4 players. So there's 2 of you, then there's 2 computer players. And the computer players are like godlike for some reason. They're doing stuff where it's like, how did you even know those explosions were going to happen? It was totally random, but they knew. And so we spent most of the time just laughing at how stupid this game is. And so that must have been why I loved this game, because it's terrible. Like it's like the multiplayer is like one Mario Party mini game over and over and over again, right? But you get the right group of people together, and it's just bonkers. It's so fun. So my recommendation for Bomberman 64 goes from, oh yeah, it's pretty good, to like, no, it's trash unless you have 4 friends who don't mind torturing each other. That's what Bomberman 64 is. We also played some. What's that, John?
I was gonna say the CPUs in any Bomberman game are just crazy reflex wise. Like they can just tuck behind a corner like right before the bomb goes off. I remember playing the one on Super Nintendo to like no end. You know, we'd rent it, and my buddies would play like all night. 2-player on SNES, and you'd get the max amount of bombs, and you would just like lay the bombs in every other open spot trying to catch them, and they would just duck in between the blocks.
No.
And just like, come on, imagine
Every
you
time.
just go forever with the computer.
And the difference between Bomberman 64 and like a grid-based Bomberman is that Bomberman 64, the explosions are circular instead of grid-based.
Yep.
So like,
Yep.
how do you know? And you can get a power-up that increases the size of the explosion, but there's no way to know where the explosion's going to start or end because it's a circle on a grid. Why did they do that? That makes no sense.
Because 3D.
Because 3D,
Well,
right?
It's like,
Because
we
we
can
had
do this
to.
now.
Oh my
It'll
gosh.
be fantastic.
Just
and then
because-
they figured
yeah.
out it wasn't.
Yeah, that brings me back to Jurassic Park. Just because you know you could doesn't mean that you should. We also did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on GameCube, which is amazing. Just amazing. I brought back
Fond
so many
memories
memories,
of that
man.
game.
We played horse for like probably an hour and a half, just back and forth, and cracking each other up at wiping out and cheering at each other for getting good moves and stuff. That game's hard. Man, I remember being really good at it, but I picked it up this week and was bad. Just did not remember anything. How do you do this? How do you control anything? It's bonkers, but it kind of slowly comes back to you as you play. So then I beat Super Hot. I think I beat Super Hot on Stadia. That game is so weird, and I can't tell if I beat it or not. That's how weird it is. It's like, just, I know spoilers, but just like you get to a point where they're like, don't play again, and then you can't go into the menu and press go, and so you're like, what? Like, did I beat it, or is this a trick? Like, what's happening?
It literally says don't play it again.
Yeah, like I'm not. I hope this isn't a spoiler. It's like part of the plot of the game.
Game's been out for 5 or 6 years.
Right, I guess you can, you know what I mean. So like, okay, so spoilers for Super Hot coming up. No, now I'm going to spoil it right now. So skip forward 2 minutes if you don't want to hear a spoiler for Super Hot. Like, it's like a VR game in game that you're shooting guys, but you find out that like, oh, like this isn't a video game. This is like real life, and you're killing guys in real life in VR. And so the corporate entity or the government that created it sort of locks you into it and forces you to kill yourself or to like hit yourself over the head. To like, you have to like go find yourself playing the game and hit yourself over the head. And when you do that, you can no longer play the game anymore. So I think I beat it, but I feel like I lost also. Like, did I game over and I can never play again? I'm really confused.
Sounds like a terrible game.
Yeah.
So tangent that kind of has something to do with this, but very quickly. Have you played What the Golf?
Yes.
Okay, there's a Super Hot section in What the Golf.
Yeah, I got that far, and I love the concept of Super Hot, which is why I played it, like a much more puzzly, non-twitchy first-person shooter. But yeah, That game's freaking weird, but I love it. That was my Stadia game this week. So with all of that out of the way, let's jump into some Prices Retro. Y'all ready? Okay, so for the uninitiated and for Marty, here's how we play. I'm gonna list off 4 or 5 retro games, and you're gonna have to keep track of what you think each one is worth. And at the end, you're gonna tell me your best guess for what the whole lot of games is worth, right? So, so that's the best way I can explain it. And we're gonna guess. And John has a whole like spreadsheet calculator thing to tell us who got closest, right? It's because he's a genius. So, Marty, do you have your list?
I was not able to get a list. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No worries. So you're just gonna guess then.
That's fine.
And mine is actually.
I was hoping I would be allowed to play since I didn't do my
Yeah,
homework.
no, definitely. We got to get your score in so you can see if you beat Nick Metzger for the worst score.
Oh, okay, definitely.
So I'm gonna go first, guys, because mine is very weird, and I went this way because I had an encounter with an eBay listing that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to share it on the show, and I thought this would be a cool way to do it. So it's just one thing, and what it is it's a Sega Genesis CDX. Do you know what a CDX is, Marty? What it is it looks like a portable, like a big fat portable CD player. It plays Sega CD and Sega Genesis games. And it had a very, very limited run in North America. There was a complete in-box Sega CDX, which is a pretty rare item. And for reference, the complete in-box comes with 2 controllers, 2 extension cables,
Gotcha.
and 3 Sega CD games, and all the hookups, because you can also plug it into a TV. Like, you have to plug it into a TV to play Genesis games. So it's a little Sega Genesis that plays Sega CD, audio CDs, and you plug it into your TV. So
This is why Sega no longer exists.
this is why Sega no longer exists. Because why would you do? I mean, don't get me wrong. This is like the PS2, right? Like, this is like PS2. It plays DVDs. Great. Awesome. But like, I don't have any desire to carry my Sega Genesis with me everywhere. There's no reason to do that. So why would I? Why? Anyway. So do you guys have your prices?
I've got a price.
Your guesses?
I will say, like, we're talking about the current value, like what it's selling for now.
Got a good one. All right, Marty, give me your price.
People are asking for it.
So the listing that I saw ended, and I have what the ending purchasing price was. So it's like basically what it's worth now, what somebody would pay for it.
I'm gonna say $425.
Okay. All right, John.
I will say $850.
All right, so the final selling price is $1,056.
Wow.
So Marty, that one kind of threw you because I don't know that you knew that this even existed before this show.
No, I'll be honest with you. I went and I looked it up just to see the photo of it.
Yeah.
And I don't remember this at all. And I was like, I had the Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis, so it was big balling back in the 90s, guys.
Yeah.
It's just, didn't have any friends, but I had video games.
Right. So I kind of cheated a little bit on this one, but I wanted to throw that in as like a throw you guys a little loopy there. We're still playing with the format a little bit. It's a little malleable right now.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm going to kind of change the rules up just a little bit since Marty doesn't have a list, and I'm going to take Marty's score and divide it by 2 when we're done. Since he gets 2 guesses and we each only get 1.
Okay.
I think that's
okay.
okay. I'm down with that.
So, let me pull my lot up really fast. All right. So, the first game on my lot is Dragon Warrior 4 for the NES, loose.
4? Yeesh.
4.
All right.
The second game on my list is Comic Zone for the Sega Genesis, loose.
I'm like, they made 4 of those?
Oh, yeah. Well, they made 11 of them.
Well, yeah. I mean for the NES.
Oh, yeah. No, they did.
Yeah.
My third game is Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards for the N64, loose. And then my fourth game is Pokemon Black version 2 for the DS, also loose.
Loose?
Yep, loose.
Okay, I have mine. So my price is $160.
All right, now it's time for Marty's guess.
I was going to go with 125.
All right. And the total cost for my game lot is $214.
Holy moly.
Dragon Warrior 4 is insanely expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
That's
yeah,
what I thought.
And actually, so is Pokemon.
Late stage
What?
NES game there.
Pokemon Black and White is expensive now?
Black, well, you want to, since we're...
Yeah, go ahead and do
Dan
yours.
wins, by the way, because
Wow, yeah.
by Marty's in half, it's not...
I'll concede that I kind of cheated this week. That was my cheat this week.
So I'll go through well, I guess since yours was the total lot was only one thing. You already know the total of yours.
Yeah. So just yours.
So I'll
go
go
ahead.
through my list. Dragon Warrior 4 for the NES loose is $86. Comic Zone for the Sega Genesis loose is $19. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards N64 loose is $29. And Pokemon Black version 2 for the DS loose is $80. Just loose.
There's no way.
You have it complete. It's almost $200.
No frickin' way. I don't even believe you.
Yeah, so I was thinking Dragon Warrior 4. I knew of 3, of 1 through 3, but thinking about Dragon Warrior 4, it came out in 1992, and a lot of people had already swung over to the Super Nintendo by that time. So it's kind of like Mega Man X3, which I never saw in stores because a lot of people had already moved on to the next thing.
And you only made 100 of them, so... There was a lot of games that were late in the console cycle. Those games are always the one to pick up because everyone's either moved on, or they just didn't make very many because they didn't anticipate very many sales, especially in the early days. And N64, Super Nintendo, and NES, the late games were the valuable ones.
That's true. That is true. Well, Marty, thanks for playing with us. That was fun.
Sorry I didn't bring my list. I'm lame.
That's all right, man. We'll have you on again, and you'll make up for it. You'll bring 2 lists next time.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Really like Nick and have to make your list up on the game while we're playing.
I will bring next time. I will bring an only Mega Man list.
That's good. Let's do that.
And a regular list.
We'll do a hard mode next time you're on. Okay. So let's jump into our crossplay discussion, which is why Marty is even here in the first place, because we all played Mega Man 1 for the NES. Me for the first time.
Really?
And yeah, first time. Because here's the thing about me and Mega Man. Like, I like Mega Man, but it just never really it never hit me. You know what I mean? Like, I never got it. I played
Okay.
Mario first, and Mega Man doesn't feel like Mario, so I was like, well, this is bad. But that's not, that's not true. It's just different, just a different way of doing things. And I say that, but I will say now that I think that I'm now becoming a Mega Man believer because of this game. Because, well, so here's why. If I did not have Rewind, Marty, if every death was final in that game, I would hate this game.
Here's the thing.
So,
Rewind's a great feature. I'm just gonna say it. You start getting older and start losing some of those reflexes, right?
I didn't know that the Mega Man collection on Switch had Rewind. I didn't know. I mean, I assumed it did, but I didn't even think about it. So I jumped in, died 4 times, and I was like, I'm gonna hate this. This is gonna be the worst experience of my life. And then I remembered oh, maybe there's Rewind, and I tried some buttons, got it to work. I was like, okay, now we can do this. Now Mega Man makes sense to me. I also had to look up the correct boss order, or the easy boss order or whatever, because I guess you can technically beat it in whatever order you want.
You can, you can, but it's a puzzle action game. You got to figure out the right order,
right? So
Rewind doesn't help you. The stage where it has the little conveyor belt with the little drop off platforms that drop you off. Trying to time that using the Rewind, I just kept dumping myself over and over again. It was a nightmare.
I didn't even get that far. I beat Cutman. That was the third boss I beat, and that's as far as I got. Just didn't have that much time this week. But Marty, you said earlier that this is on the lower end of the Mega Mans that you've played. Why is that?
No, I wouldn't say not the lower end as far as enjoyment wise, but just anyone who knows me and has listened to Nintendo Dads pretty extensively knows that when we talk about comfort food gaming, Mega Man 2 is absolutely the go-to game for me. Mega Man 2 and Super Mario 3. And so I know Mega Man 2 like the back of my hand. And I don't know how that happened, but just when I was a kid, Mega Man 2, I played Mega Man and fell in love with the character and the whole aspect, the way the game was built and all that. And then Mega Man 2, I remember that being a watershed moment for me in my childhood of every day waiting for that game. Maybe my dad bought it today. Maybe my dad's bringing it. Maybe it came out today. And so I guess it was just that anticipation that fueled that. So it's always going to be number one. But for me, this when I replay Mega Man games, I tend to gravitate toward 2, 3, and 4. And so that moves one further down the list for me. Not because of enjoyment, but because once you get to Mega Man 2, there's some pretty big changes that they make to the formula, and even just the gameplay in general that carries on from 2 through 6. Actually carries on through the rest of the series, and 1 just does not have those elements, and so it's the outlier.
Just adding the slide is a game changer.
Oh yeah.
There's so many times in 1 where I'm like, man, I want to slide. I really need to slide, and you can't.
Well, and
just die.
You know what? That probably benefited me. It being one of the first times that I really dug into a Mega Man game. I've played them flippantly before, but this is the first time I dug in, not even knowing that there's a slide at some point.
And there's also 6 bosses, which as opposed to 8 in the rest of the games, which they've tried to retcon, by the way. I don't know if you know much about Mega Man's history, but they've tried to go back now and add two other bosses to that. They did it in I want to say it was called Mega Man Powered Up. That was only for the PSP. It was a chibi version of Mega Man.
Yeah, it got the graphical change too, right?
Yeah, real big heads, real small bodies. They added an Oil Man and Time Man to those original, set of 6. But I always tend to focus on Mega Man 2, 3, and 4 when I do play any of them, because Mega Man 2 is comfort food for me. It's I'll play it, and if I've had a bad day and I want to veg out, Mega Man 2 or Super Mario 3. That's the games.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love that you guys, like, I was so excited when you asked me to be on, like, to be a part of this, but I was also like super excited when you rolled a 1, because I was like, yes, this is the way to start it, because it is hard. I will admit this. Mega Man games are difficult anyway, but Mega Man is difficult. If you play it straight, if you play vanilla Mega Man, no rewinds, no pause trick with the elect beam, then it's a pretty difficult game.
No, that's probably why. Honestly, that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. I would have given up at stage 1 if I couldn't rewind. Just straight up.
I'm going to tell you something on this podcast that I'll admit it other places, but I've never, it's never had to come out. I have never beaten the Yellow Devil boss. I have never beaten that boss without using the Elect Man pause trick. I don't care.
Is that the rock monster or whatever they call it?
Yeah. The very first boss in Dr. Wily's castle, he comes in pieces. And
that's where I got stuck.
He's weak to the Elect Beam. And so what you do is Mega Man 1 and only Mega Man 1 has a different pause feature that you can use. So start brings up the menu to change your weapons. Select just pauses the game. And so if you shoot the Elect Beam at its eye and then jam on pause really fast, it'll continue to hit over and over and over again until whatever you are fighting is defeated.
Does that work in the collection on Switch still, or did they fix it?
Yeah, it's the R button.
Oh,
it's the R button. You just
I might have to go back and cheese that guy now so that I can make it forward, because I got stuck.
You do it on.
I tried for
you do it on Dr. Wily Boss 1. You do it on Dr. Wily Boss 2, Boss 3. You don't need it anymore. But
that is hilarious.
Yeah, so that's why it ranks. That's the long, protracted way to say that's why it ranks a little bit. It's not because I don't like it. I love those original 6 games fully, like with my whole heart. But
yeah,
Mega Man 1 is lower on the list because of those things.
Well, I've got another question for you, Marty, and this one's going to go pretty deep. So I want you to really think about this one. Why in the world did they release it with that box art?
Oh my gosh.
For the love of God, please explain to me how the blue weird guy on the cover of this game is the little robot in
yeah, like the guy who looks like the budget Michelin Man.
Yeah.
With the blue and yellow. Like, where's the yellow?
You've got Flash Gordon, and then you've got Mega Man. So tell me how this happened.
Well, I think the same guys who cast Dolph Lundgren as He-Man are the ones who signed off on this box art, and like basically they're the same people who made the He-Man movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that train wreck. Y'all, the 80s were a weird time because a lot of this stuff being so new, right, and being so niche did not have a rabid fan market for accuracy, right? I mean, now if they tried to publish this box art now as anything other than a joke, it would, they wouldn't happen. There would be Twitter. There'd be Twitter campaigns. There would be, but and it's funny because when they did Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 on Xbox Live Arcade, they were digital only for 360 and the Wii. They actually, like, one of the cover arts for the game, they actually went back and did in the Mega Man 1 box art style. It is hideous.
Oh, I think I saw
I
that.
think I heard about it. I think it was they asked fans of the game to submit box art for the game to be used, and they asked for specifically Mega Man 1 like box art.
Amazing.
But the longer way around for your question then or the shorter way around is they didn't care. I mean, they a lot of times what would happen is people who did the box art for these games or did video game art at all probably never played the game. They just described it to them and said, this is what we want you to do. And so some guy who had grown up driving around in a van with like a Greek god blowing somebody away with thunder painted on the side of it, looking at Franzia drawings or something, art, was the guy that they hired to do this. And, there you go.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine that he's a big Megaman guy too. Tell me, and I don't know if this is true, but it's something he heard that the guy that drew this had one day to do it and hadn't played the game, and they just said, "Hey, it's a sci-fi game about a guy that has a laser gun," and like just let him go on it, and this is what we got. Which sounds accurate for what we got.
With that description, it's amazing that he even got anywhere near, blue in the body.
Yeah. That is appalling.
I think it adds a little bit to the charm of the game and the nostalgia, right?
Oh, now it does for sure. I mean, it harkens back to a time when you'd buy an Atari game and you'd get this beautiful tapestry up before you, just like a castle and a knight and a dragon and all this stuff. And you put the game in your system and it's like 4 blocks and like that's your squares. Guy. And then there's the dragon and it's 7 green blocks. And you're just like, how is this art representative of what I'm playing, And there were a few other NES games that did that, but Mega Man, I think, is so iconic now that it just looks so bonkers that he was anything other than the little blue bomber to anybody, Here,
if you want to be real honest, Mega Man's box art was never really kind to him. I really feel like it didn't really nail the actual character and what they were going for until Mega Man 6. And by then Mega Man 6 suffered from end of the line, the Nintendo, the NES is going away, the Super Nintendo's here. I'm looking through a collection of the box art right now, and they always want to draw him all weirdly muscled and
make him humanoid, instead of a little robot.
Yeah, Mega Man 2, he's got a flip down visor. But yeah, bless his heart.
Well, if you want the real Mega Man, you look up the Japanese versions because they had it right from the start.
They're
all
sure
fantastic.
Did.
Why didn't they just use that one? What's the problem?
Because they didn't think it would sell over here.
Trying to cater to American audiences. Well, we've got one question.
Well, that's what always happens.
Yeah, we've got one question from the Discord I want to throw out there about Mega Man. It's from Andross from the Nintendo Pals podcast. Go shout out to those guys. Go listen. They are fun. He says, which Mega Man game looks the best in each of your opinions? No, not gameplay wise, but just the art style and the sprites and which one looks the best. What do you guys think?
Are we talking just the original 6 or any?
He said which Mega Man game. I don't know. Why don't we do both?
Yeah, he made it sound like any.
Yeah.
I think if we did the original out of all of them, for me, I think it's a toss between 2 and 4. There were some pretty ambitious things that 2 did, mainly this one being moving from enemies that were, 1 block high for the most part, except for bosses, to lots of large enemies. If you've ever played 2, in Woodman stage, there's a large dog that you have to fight that breathes fire, or there's these giant cloud heads in Airman stage and all kinds of different. So there was that, and all the varied atmospheres that you run through. And then 4 really had some neat weather effects with snow and rain and doing some different things there. And of course, larger, more detailed enemies as well. But I think overall, the newest one, Mega Man 11, is gorgeous. Absolutely ridiculously good.
They take some really good stylized art cues from the X series, bring it to the original series. It's kind of a blend, and it just looks really good in HD as well.
It looks like you're playing a cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Good. It's great.
I was going to bring up the X series because I don't have a lot of I wouldn't be able to tell Mega Man 3 from 4 from 5 if I saw him. But Playing the X games, playing Mega Man X when it came out on the Super Nintendo fairly early on in the life cycle, that was kind of a showpiece for the system at the time. I mean, it was beautiful. You had these really, really well done backgrounds, just very varying enemies. Mega Man X himself looks just really cool, and the blaster's all animated well, or his Mega Blast is animated really well. Buster, whatever you call it. So I have a limited swath of Mega Man in my memory, so I can only speak so much to it. But John, what about you? What do you think?
Well, like I said, I think I kind of agree with Marty on the Mega Man 11 probably being the best looking one to me. And I mean, that's just kind of a natural progression of things. But again, also, if I had to choose between the older ones, I'd probably have to say 4, I think. Probably be my favorite one. The X games are also really good. They all look good. They didn't all play good, but they all look good.
Right.
For the time. The perfection of the sprites at that time was really good, really detailed. Seen a lot more detail in those games. I mean, the original 6 do good. Even Mega Man 1 surprised me with some of the sprite work, like some of the one enemy that is the largest one that hops.
Oh yeah,
it's very detailed.
The Cyclops.
Yeah, the Cyclops. I like to call him a choice cuss word because I can't get by him, but
yeah,
that's his name for me. But he's very well detailed, especially for the first game. I think the Mega Man 11 was a very good looking game, and I didn't even make it all the way through that, but I enjoyed the artwork for the parts that I did play.
Awesome. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and roll the dice, John. Get those dice ready.
All right.
We're going to see which Mega Man game we're going to play this week. I'm anxious. I'm excited to jump in again. So whenever you're ready, roll that dice. No, I just roll the dice. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Number 6.
What?
All right.
We're going from first to last.
Wow. That got really interesting. Okay, cool. Playing Mega Man 6 it is then. We are playing Mega Man 6. And if you're just jumping in with us, there are a plethora of ways of picking up these games. I think the Mega Man collection is still on sale. It's like $10 on Switch.
I think it is till the 10th or the 15th, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know another
The
way.
one poor guy that bought
these games. Absolutely one of the best collections out there. Because not only does it add in the 6 games, you get challenges. So once you play through the 6 games, there's remixes of stages and different things like that. Time trials. It's a really cool package.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to buy that Mega Man 2 arcade thing that you have in your store, Dan, and then we're not going to roll 2. It's not going to be able to play.
Somebody already bought it. Nobody from Discord, but somebody did. Somebody thought it was cool. So
okay.
That's good. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. And when we get back, we've got a little bit of Zelda Spirit Tracks. We've got some news to talk about involving a certain anthropomorphized glove that we all know and love. We will be right back. And music. Does anybody need to go pee-pee? And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that break as much as I did. I certainly enjoyed it. It was probably one of the best breaks I've ever broken. So we're going to jump right into This Week in Gaming History, and I'm the only one that put something on the list this week. John, I guess nothing from December 7th struck your fancy, huh?
There's a lot of Japanese releases, but nothing really struck me as anything that I wanted to talk about. Spirit Tracks is good for me.
Yeah, I'll jump in then with our first one, which John just spoiled for us. Thank you, John. And that is The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks for the Nintendo DS, launched 11 years ago today in 2009. I actually just picked this game up again on the Wii U Virtual Console, which you don't know if you know this or not, but the Wii U has DS games in its Virtual Console library. And people give that feature a little bit of crap, but I honestly think it's kind of cool. It's like, I think it's great. You can do it a couple different ways. You can have the top screen on your TV and the bottom screen on your touchpad. You can turn it sideways and have both screens on that touchpad. You can do them both on your TV. You can do whatever you want with it. So that's my plug for Virtual Console games on a Wii U, and why don't we have a Virtual Console on Switch? I don't know. So Spirit
It may be
Tracks,
the only way that we get those, just to be honest.
right. So that's why I got it, because, you know, who knows? I'm not going to spend $40 on the cartridge right now. I love this game. This is probably one of my favorite portable Zelda games. And it came soon after the Phantom Hourglass, which is a sequel to Wind Waker on DS. And Phantom Hourglass, I also played a lot of, but I hated it. I hated that game.
Yeah, Spirit Tracks was way better.
Yeah. And I think number one on my list of gripes with Phantom Hourglass was the central tower you had to like always go back to. Some kind of puzzle situation there that I hated. And I don't even really remember it that vividly. What I did love about Phantom Hourglass was the combat. They really nailed how to do the stylus combat on the bottom screen there. They nailed that. And I wanted to do more of that, but I was stopped because of dumb puzzles in Phantom Hourglass. So when Spirit Tracks came out, I said, okay, we got another chance. We got another chance, you guys. I don't know about this whole train thing though. Like, I'm in a boat. I want to be able to go where I want to go. On a train, I'm kind of stuck on my track, right? But they were able to make the train gameplay fairly engaging, so you weren't just sitting there riding a train feeling like you had no control the whole time. So and that was one of the main differences. And also they got rid of the whole like annoying central dungeon thing that you had to keep going back to. And the story is fairly mediocre, but other than that, I think I just really, really loved what they did with the stylus gameplay. They had a lot of really clever things, like blowing into the microphone and closing your DS to like imprint something, and you could draw on your dungeon maps to like mark where stuff was. And there were some dungeons where you had to do that to like mark secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's part of the puzzles.
Yeah. And so they really encourage you to use the system to its fullest. And just like upgrading your train and getting a better cannon and you know, and firing at stuff from your train as you're trying to go along. And I really, this game still holds such a special place in my heart. And I'm really glad that they gave DS Zelda another go after Phantom Hourglass, because Phantom Hourglass is dumpster fire.
I really hope that this is a game that does not get lost. Actually, and I know you don't like Phantom Hourglass. It was okay. It's not my favorite Zelda. It's in the sphere of influence of my favorite Zelda, because my favorite Zelda is Wind Waker.
Yes.
And so this being in that universe is just fantastic. So to get more of what I love, right? So I really hope that there's some way they can save these games, like that there's a way that we can continue to play these two games, because I'm like you, I ate this up. It was so good. I could not put it down. I did find the only part about it that I didn't really care for is the the train thing's great until you have to go like really far away.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
it's just like the King of Red Lines in the original Wind Waker. Slow.
Yeah, you're right. And I get why they did it. Like, well, I do and I don't, but it's still super fun, so charming. And, you know, but the thing is, Dan, you mentioning all the things about the DS integration, like with the writing and shutting it to stamp stuff, that's something that unless people are careful, that's going to be lost. Like, we can have a copy of it. That's great, but why are we doing these things? Why does it behave like this?
Right.
Yep.
It kind of makes me hate that the Wii U didn't do as good as it, didn't do better, because it looked like they were going to kind of try to continue that trajectory, of being able to write on the screen and do things. And now it's like, oh, the Switch is capacitive touch, multi-touch, but it feels like an afterthought to Nintendo, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the thing with newer Nintendo stuff, is it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's super fun for the time, but it's really hard to duplicate later on with other software without remaking it. You see it a lot. I mean, there's a lot of from DS going forward, it's going to be really hard to move any of those games forward, and Nintendo's had to be really creative just to get a lot of the Wii U ports over to Switch, even, different control schemes, just different ways around it. And the DS is going to be even more complicated than that with 2 screens.
I don't know
So
how
we'll
they're
have to
going
wait for another 20 years when they remake this. They give it to the team that does the Yoshi games, and we'll get like Fuzzy Link. And,
oh my gosh.
They'll just probably remake it.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would take a Link's Awakening remake style Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks combo. I would take that. I would buy that game. Even if they redid everything so it like worked on Switch, totally would do that.
Yeah, if they want to give like paper to Mario and they want to give toy iterations to Zelda, I'm cool with that.
Totally down.
Just please do Minish Cap first.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's just do let's have a whole portable Zelda game collection come out. Let's just do that.
We'll have to wait till next year and see. Maybe you will be.
Yeah, we'll
35th.
see.
There's going to be something big happen, y'all. The way they've blown Mario out this year, I really think there's going to be something.
And then the 31st of 22 will be when all the Zelda games go away.
That's
do
right.
The same thing
Yep.
all over again.
March 31st. You can't play no more Zelda.
Sorry. 2022 is the year Zelda died.
Death of Zelda.
Yeah.
The obituary.
All right. We've just got a couple pieces of news here before we duck out. The first one is an update on the Pong Jr., Pong Jr. Mini, Pong Mini Jr., whatever it's called. Atari Mini Pong Jr. That's what it's called. So, John, you were way closer to right on the price tag than I was. This thing ends up being $130. Which, if you don't remember, we talked about this a little while back. The Pong Mini Junior, Mini Pong Junior, is a standalone Pong machine with a built-in screen, 2 knobs on either side. It looks like an original like Pong arcade machine. It's just tiny, teeny, and it's got like a better screen. $130 for this thing. I'm hard out. There's no way. It plays one game.
It must have like a QLED screen on it or something.
Why bother? Why don't you put other games on it or something? I don't know.
2 lines and a block.
Yeah. Like, geez. Here's the other thing. The big version of this that they made, where it has like physical objects moving around. I don't know how they move them around, magnets or whatever. That is really novel and cool. Like that is almost worth the price of admission just to have a cool thing that does that. This is a screen with 2 knobs that plays Pong. How is that worth?
I told you it was going to be pricey.
Why?
It's Atari, man. I already explained this. Look at the price of the VCS right now.
Yeah.
Why would you spend $300 on that when it doesn't do anything different than a $60 Stadia controller does? It's gonna be just another way to play some, newer games.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's mostly just old Atari stuff, isn't it?
Well, they're shipping.
I just don't see the value for the VCS.
Yeah, they're shipping in late December. So if you want one, John, go for it. Marty, do you want one?
Heck no. Heck to the no.
I'll just play Pong on my 2600.
Honestly,
I'm good.
It's ridiculous.
Why? Why is it? It's $130. Like, I don't now, but now here's the deal. That's coming from a guy who collects Transformers and Amiibos and everything else. So
I do too, but I'm not buying this one.
These things, mark my words, bargain bin in 6 months.
All right, I'll buy it for $40.
I think the only place you could buy them is Arcade 1UP, so that makes it even more.
Oh, so they're not even going to
challenge.
be in stores. Okay.
I don't think so. I think right now they're only being sold there. That might change.
It plays one game. One.
Someone will hack it, and it will play some other game that
And
play with a dial.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I want to play Skyrim with a knob. That's
Skyrim
what I
with
wanna
the
do.
dial.
Yeah. Yeah, ridiculous.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
let's move
Some people
on.
do like Missile Command.
Yeah.
but
Or you could play, Breakout or Kaboom or whatever. I might, you know what? I might pick up like a knob collection like this. I might do that. But if it just plays Pong, then I am hard out.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this company is that I really, really love the idea of an in-home, like affordable arcade machine, right? Like I love that idea, but I don't know that I can commit to it just being Mortal Kombat or it just being NBA Jam or it just being Star Wars. I would want it to play a lot more than it's going to do.
Right.
Now they do
I can
have a
maybe
really
do the
interesting.
Turtles.
Yeah, they do have this really interesting head-to-head style cabinet that plays like 14 Capcom games that I saw at Sam's. It's like every version of Street Fighter, Final Fight, 1944, Commando, Ghosts and Goblins. So there's some value there, but like I can't see doing even the 130 for Pong.
No.
Well, it's like an eighth of the size of the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a mini one.
But can we let's acknowledge the elephant in the room on this issue. This company is thriving.
That is true.
So there's a ton of people out there buying these things.
I want that Turtles cabinet.
How much was the head-to-head?
The head-to-head cabinet is, I believe when I saw it at Sam's, it was like $3.99 or $4.99.
Yeah.
I can see a $3.90. The $4.99 ones are hard sell.
They just I guess recently put it on clearance for $199.98, and it's out of stock.
Oh,
Of course.
yeah, it would be.
There's lots of Walmart sales on those cabinets, but it's very hard to get them, and it's usually in store only.
Yeah, you just got to go to the store. It was normal price was $400. This GameStop still selling them for that.
400 is the going
I've
rate
heard
for those
people
stand-up
walking in-
arcade ones.
Yeah, I've seen people or heard of people going in their Walmart and they're like marked down to $100 because they're tired of them being on the shelf. And I'm like, man, why don't I ever find these?
Right.
I would totally buy one for $100.
Yeah, it depends on the game. I pretty much only want Turtles. I don't see anything else that I would want to spend that much on it. 4-player
I think
Turtles.
I would spend $100 on any of them and then figure out a way to modify it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's easy to do. We've got one more piece of news here, and it revolves around the one and only Glover. Not Danny Glover, just Glover. So this company,
the better Glover.
Yeah, this company Piko Interactive. What they do is they purchase IP. They purchase rights to old games that nobody has rights to or cares about anymore. And then they find ways of re-releasing them. That's kind of a cool concept. You know, games that would normally never see the light of day again are seeing the light of day because of Piko Interactive. So shout out to them. So Glover is a game from 1998. It was released on N64 and PC, developed by Interactive Studios. And you are an anthropomorphic glove, and you have a ball and you run around and do platforming tricks and stuff. It's a puzzle platformer or a platforming game, 3D platformer, sorry, like Mario 64. Pretty good, pretty well received. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I did not like the ball physics, but it is well received in general. This company, Piko, owns the rights to it now, and they are reaching out to the fan base and saying, hey, like, what kind of stretch goals would you like for a re-release, for a Kickstarter re-release? You know, would you want a physical version? Would you want like a box with a cartridge in it? Like, so it seems like the writing is on the wall to get a re-release of this game some point in the near future via Kickstarter, which I think is pretty cool.
I'm really curious to see how much support this actually gets. Like how many people were like diehard Glover fans?
I think there are enough of them. They're out there. Trust me. Every time I go on Twitter and say Glover sucked, there's an army of people that come at me and like, shut up. That was my favorite. I rented it every weekend.
If Bubsy can get a revival, Glover can get a revival.
There it is.
Now, here's the deal. When they bring back Plock, call me.
All right. Plock is where it's at.
I'm still waiting for the remake of Marble Madness. Where's that at?
Never even thought of that, but that's now you've made me want something that's never going to exist. Thank you.
Yeah,
You got to get that ball
Parker
controller.
Brothers.
You got to
Make
get that
games again.
You got to get that big ball controller. Yeah.
That's going to be the next Atari Mini $130 console. It's going to have the ball, and you're going to have to roll the marble around. One game.
That's awesome. That's great. All right. Well, so because of the time, we're going to have to skip community questions tonight. We've got a few of them here, and I think pretty soon we're going to do just an all community questions episode. Maybe for Christmas we'll do that because we got a couple of them here that I really want to get to. Congrats again to Third Strongest Mole for winning any item you want from blockfortretro.com. Just your pick. Pick one, and I'll pull it off the listing, and I'll ship it to you for free. Thanks for being part of the Discord and the community. And if you want to be a part of that community, go to my Twitter at blockfortretro. Go to my bio and click that Discord link, and you can join up for nothing. Just come in, say hey, talk about some retro games. We're small, but we're pretty active in that community. There's a lot of us there that just love to chat. So we cover all kinds of stuff. We had a whole discussion just the other day about what we were talking about, John, with I don't remember. I'll cut that out.
I was going to say, we have there's been a lot of discussions about, especially collecting here lately. Lots of good pictures of people's collections and how we store our collections and just different things.
Yeah, it's super fun in there. So come join up. So Marty, why don't you take a second and just tell us a little bit about the Nintendo Dads for the uninitiated, which are only a few people left on Earth who don't know who you guys are at this point, and just where people can find you.
So Nintendo Dads is a weekly Nintendo news, reviews, and views podcast. We say from a dad bod perspective. From the cast includes 4 current members who are all dads in different walks of life, who all love Nintendo. And we love video games in general, but Nintendo is our jam. So that's what we talk about the most. We record on Thursday nights, and you can watch us live on YouTube as we do that. It starts at 9 p.m. Central. And you can come interact with the chat there on Twitch and YouTube. Just search Nintendo Dads. In fact, that's where we are everywhere on social media is at Nintendo Dads. Podcast comes out in audio form every Friday. And we also have other podcasts that are part of the Dads family. We're kind of fell into building the Dads family of podcast network earlier this year. And so we have the Dads After Dark, and we have Dad Crossing, and Tim, who is one of our main cast members, does the Dinner Table podcast, which is kind of like a just a talk around the dinner table every month. He does that monthly. And you can find me personally on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Just search Marty Estes. I post about video games and a lot about food and sometimes wrestling and other stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at.
Sweet.
And guys, thank y'all for having me on the show. This has been awesome. I really enjoy getting to talk about retro stuff because I am an old school gamer at heart. Being the NES being my first system when I was 8 years old, and moving forward since then, I've never stopped. I know some people are like, well, I fell off a few years and then the Switch brought me back. No, I've been here the whole time.
Awesome.
But you get the honor of being the first Nintendo dad on the show. Hopefully we can get the other guys on at some point.
Yeah, they would be glad to.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Metroid episode to come along so we can have Tim on for sure.
Oh, dude, he would love that. He would love that.
Awesome. Well, it was a blast to have you on, Marty. Thank you so much for doing this for us and offering your wisdom to Mega Man fans all over the world. That's going to do it for our show today, guys. So we will see y'all next week. And don't forget to pick up Mega Man 6 somehow.
The Mega Man collection is still the best way.
I would say so, yeah. Bye now.
See you guys later.